Welcome to Fit for VR, a new series on my channel where I aim to show you how VR gaming and good physical health can work in harmony to benefit our performance in-game and in real life. Each season, I focus on a title that clearly benefits from us being in good physical shape. This series will document my journey, the ups, the downs, the struggles, successes, failures, and surprises as I train to get good and try to live the example. For this season, we'll be looking to climb the leaderboard ranks and become a rock-solid force to be reckoned with in the very unique, earth-bending PvP title, Rumble. Rumble requires the player to move their controllers into certain poses in order to perform a feat. Summoning structures is a two-staged pose, requiring from you stamina, discipline, and finesse to perform with consistency and accuracy. Identical to real life, the learning curve, depth, and mastery of these systems comes from the journey of how we can train and master our own bodies. I played Rumble a long while ago and got reasonably good, but have since forgotten most of what I learned, and I haven't properly trained physically at the gym or elsewhere for nearly 2.5 years. This is my first week returning to both. Let's see how I got on. On Tuesday, August the 1st, 5:15 in the morning, by the way, I'm walking to the gym. It's the first time I've been to the gym in a long time to begin the new series, Fit for VR. I'm feeling okay. I've only had about 2.5 hours sleep. Not sure why I slept so late knowing I had to get up so early, but I'm feeling okay anyway. We're going to begin the first day of what I hope to be a long-running series that can inspire a few of you and allow others to see me on my journey. It's scary being on camera. This series is to show that thanks to virtual reality, we can now marry playing computer games and using VR and having that experience and XR in a way that works with our health. We no longer need to slouch and be unhealthy and get fatter and risk getting RSI or carpal tunnel just to use our devices. And I want you to join me along the way. So I'm going to be recording myself, all the trials and tribulations, successes and failures. And we will see how I do. This is my first week back at the gym properly in the longest of times. So my objective here is not to try and do anything particularly seriously, but to instead just become reacquainted with the feeling of doing the routine, using my muscles in this way once again. I like to begin every workout session by doing my abs, the core of the body. That's very, very, very important. But again, I'm not trying to count the amount of reps I'm doing. I'm not trying to bring myself to exhaustion. I'm just doing them casually to feel my body being used. I like to stretch, as you can see here too, and it used to be a ritual of mine that I would begin every workout session by doing wide grip pull-ups. I used to be able to do around 10 in a row, and here, now, I can manage no more than 1 before I buckle and fail. So that's a good reference point to begin with. Today's session will be my back. I'm doing, I think they're called rows, something like that. Again, the idea is to do very light, try and reconnect with the feeling of working my muscle, not imposing any restrictions or ideas I should do X amount of reps, blah, 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 because I find that very demoralizing. So I'm using very light weights and doing 3 to 4 sets. Now, to be completely clear, I hate being on camera, and it was very awkward for me to have to set up the camera to record my workouts around other people, and I was very uncomfortable, very unfocused, and this session only lasted about 30 minutes at best. So after this exercise, I decided to give up and do my stream. And here we are, the first ever Fit for VR live stream, getting reacquainted with the basics of Rumble after a very long time not playing it. Lots of repetition practicing the poses, going against a training bot and showing off a fancy parry there, which I thought looked good, so I would include that. All in all, just awkwardly fumbling around and then heading into the practice park, where I was graciously joined by a long-time viewer and patron, Aquazoo. He also hadn't played for a very long time. We had a little practice play session. You can do that in Rumble. You can set up a public park and play with other people. We then went our separate ways and I headed into my first PvP match, which luckily for the entire stream I was matched against mostly newbies. It was almost as if the game knew. It's the next day after the gym and live streaming. Oh my god, my body and my energy are so tired. Even though I did a short session, my body is screaming and burning with discomfort, and the idea of having to get up and do anything is horrible. I don't know if I'll make it to the gym today, especially as it's now normal daytime. There'll be too many people. Oh my god. I haven't felt this uncomfortable in so long. It looks like I've overslept. It's 11 o'clock in the morning now, so I need to get up and rush and get to the gym soon. There'll still be way too many people there. My abs and my whole body is burning, and I don't want to go, but I must. My second day began as normal, beginning with an ab session. My energy was higher than before, and I was beginning to get used to it again. I even remembered a few of the older ab exercises, which I used to do for the side of our abs. I think they're called the obliques. But I had a few special encounters during this session, the first of which happens whilst I'm training here, and I will let the conversation speak for itself. Can I help you? What are you shaking your head at?
This is hardcore you're doing.
No.
You're doing it so easy.
It's because it's only my second time in many years going to the gym.
Jesus. You're doing it with so much ease.
It's because it's my second time. I have to go easy on myself. I have to.
That is not true.
It is true.
You're not being easy with yourself. Come on.
Well,
I've been watching you from that end.
it's easy for you, but it's hard for me.
Well, the rhythm.
Okay, teach me.
No, your rhythm.
My rhythm.
Your rhythm.
What about it?
R-H-Y-T-H-M. Your rhythm.
Yeah, I understand, but what is your meaning?
It's so easy. You're making it so easy. In the eyes, it's so easy the way you're doing it.
So,
It's so hard to believe that you've not done this in years.
it's really? Really?
Yes.
That's very nice of you to say, thank you.
That's the truth.
Thank you so much. I used to... It was a very strange, yet lovely and surprising encounter, which lasted for 10 minutes, and basically we were just talking about exercises and stuff, and we said our goodbyes, and I carried on with my routine. Today we are doing shoulders and triceps, and I begin with these shoulder raise things with very light dumbbells, the same principle as before. We're just getting used to the exercises again. Going to exhaustion if I feel it is okay to do so, but not applying pressure to what I do whatsoever. I was always reasonably good at doing these, and I'm using around 4 kg for this exercise. In my heyday, I was using around 12 to 15 kg to do flies, so more than half of my strength lost, which is a trend for all of the exercises I do. Now this one is one I like very much. It involves getting a barbell and raising it above your head, as you'll see now, and then holding it for 5 seconds around your forehead, just above, and then lowering to your chin for another 5 seconds, keeping the tension and the burn on your shoulders always, raising up, and then doing that for however long you want to, or until you get exhausted. This is my final set, set 4, where I go all the way to exhaustion. There's something about the burn on the shoulders which I really enjoy here. I was taught this by my friend, who I trained with years ago. We finish that, and then we head over to the triceps. Now I'm using the cable pull here, and you'll see my form is very sloppy. I'm using the lightest weight, and even then I'm still struggling. I've always struggled doing this exercise, and I'm not sure why. maybe my arms are too long, and the efficacy is variable. I move on to the bar here and continue my struggle, and then I have another chance encounter. A chap noticed I was struggling with the setup of my iPad to record myself and graciously offered to record me doing the exercises. And it just so happens, coincidentally, that he is also an editor and uses the same editing software that I do. So after this was shot, I spoke with him, exchanged numbers, and planned to meet up with him later and do a workout. To end this session, I wanted to do some dips, the ultimate test of one's triceps, at least for me. And you'll see that I completely failed to do one. I'm already too exhausted. Not wanting to give up though, the ego not ready to submit, I add some weights to support myself around 35 kg, and I still couldn't do a single one. So there we are. A failure at the end, but overall a very interesting and good session.
Well, that was a much better session compared to 2 days ago. And the two people that I met there, which you probably have already seen or will see after this, there were such lovely interactions. I feel a buzzing, a high from having those very warm interactions, and it's probably because I don't have much of a social life that meeting those people and getting their words and their help was so lovely for me. But that, included with what I consider a decent workout at this stage, has made for a very, 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 very good session. And I feel quite high after it. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing legs. Let's see how it goes.
In my second Rumble stream, I was beginning to successfully perform the moves more regularly and started to experiment with basic combos. Though I was very tired and sore before starting, it's usually the case that being active regains your energy. I continued my practice and spoke with the viewers, then fought a few opponents, one of whom kicked my ass, which was good fun and learning. In the end, I'd say I won about half of my matches. And it was this stream that I set a goal to ascend the leaderboard and try to reach first in the world before the end of this season. I am so damn tired. So tired. It's Saturday morning, and I'm due to go to the gym to do legs. And we all know that we hate leg day very, very, very much. It's raining. It's been raining here for the last week and a half. And it's giving me all kinds of excuses not to go. I cannot describe how much I don't want to go. I'm going to head to the shop, get a coffee, which I shouldn't drink a coffee. I shouldn't have to rely on these things. Well, I don't have to, but I don't want to develop the habit. But I am so weary and so tired after playing Rumble and doing this exercise. And I haven't even done all of my body. But we have to get the legs done. We have to. So. Oh my God. Yeah, we didn't go to the gym and do legs. I instead was too tired and did a very light workout at home, beginning with abs as always, using the equipment I had to hand. Thank you, VR headset. I did some squats and lunges, already very exhausted just from doing that, and gave up quite quickly. All in all, though, I'd say it was a successful week. So that marked the end of my first week, and needless to say, I was shattered. And I still am as I speak these words. The footage behind you now is from my final stream of the week, where I faced off against a relentless opponent, pushing me to the limits of my game skill and had me working up a good sweat. Rumble is interesting to me because of the competitive side of it. It's not a game about fitness for the sake of fitness. It taps into one of the strengths of VR and turns that into a fulfilling physical power fantasy, which you can immediately test and develop against other people. In this series, I plan to mostly feature well-designed titles that enable this as and when I can find them. The competitive element especially brings social unpredictability and drama into the mix, which I think we will all enjoy. As for improving at Rumble, aside from needing to commit the poses to memory, this first week has shown that my physical form definitely needs work. I tense my shoulders too much and have a tendency to overexert myself when switching poses. I've noticed I also have a tendency to slouch or lurch my neck forward, leading to bad posture and all of the ill effects which will come with that. Lastly, I need to move more. I have the physical space to strafe around and avoid being hit at least a little bit, but I barely use it. A big part of this is fear from tripping over the tether. Another is learned behavior from basically all other VR games, which are designed to be played fine if you stand or sit still like a statue, and they only really ever ask you just to slightly move your arms. Successfully moving between poses with haste, fluidity, and accuracy is the name of the game here, so my workouts to come will focus on lighter weights with controlled, explosive repetitions to train that aspect. Will this pay off and see me ascend the leaderboards to maybe stand a chance against the top players by the end of this season? Only one way to find out. Join me then. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the support of viewers just like you. If you feel like throwing some spare money at me because I'm worth it, then you can find the links to do so in all the usual places. Thank you very much.